Hi, everyone. It is Miss Ruby here, and I am coming to you from my house. Um, so I was supposed to read, Miss Krysti was supposed to read Polar Express tonight. Unfortunately, Miss Krysti was not able to do that. So you have Miss Ruby. And like I said, this is my house. You can see my Christmas tree is behind me, and there's our stockings. And right down here, come here, come here. Oh, come up, say hi. This is Ribsy. Oh, I don't want kisses. No kisses. This is my doggie. And she's probably gonna jump all over me while I read you Polar Express. I hope that some of you were able to go to either the Main or Northside Library and pick up your kit. So before we start the book, we're gonna see what is in this kit. Okay, so first off, you have a packet of hot chocolate and a candy cane to dip in it, which sounds great. And if you haven't picked this up, I am very sure that we still have some of these left at Main and Northside. You are more than welcome to pick them up tomorrow or Friday or Saturday if you want, and then you can make this at home. And then do you know what else is in here? It's a special activity to go along with the Polar Express. We've got a little card that says, "The bell still rings for those who believe." And we've got a little piece of ribbon. And you know what else we have? Can you guys hear that? Can you hear the bell? All right. So if you want, you can take your ribbon, and your card has a little hole in it. And you put your ribbon through the hole, and then put your ribbon through the hole on the top of your bell. And it's okay if you need your parents' help for this. And then we are going to tie it in a little knot, just like that. Nothing fancy, just a little double knot. And now you have your own bell. And in the story, we're gonna ring those bells. Okay, so I hope the ones that were able to get it, you have your bell ready, and maybe you already made your hot chocolate and your candy cane. I hope you did. Okay, so we're doing a special story time because unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to cancel our Polar Express drive-in movie. And usually this time of year, we have a big, huge Polar Express party with Miss Jenny and Miss Krysti, and we've got gymnasts, and we sing and we dance. Well, we can't do that this year, so we wanted to do a drive-in. Unfortunately, that had to be canceled too. But that's okay, because now everybody's got their bells, they've got their hot chocolate and their candy cane, and I have a copy of the Polar Express. All right, this is by Chris Van Allsburg. There we go. Now, it's going to be a little hard to show the pictures and read at the same time, so I'm going to read, and then when I'm finished the page, I'll hold the picture up for you to see. Okay, the Polar Express. Okay, is everybody ready? On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear. The ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear a sound, though not ringing from bells. From outside came the sound of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and I saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. You see the picture? There he is looking out of his window. There's a train coming. Down his street. Do trains drive down the street? I don't think so. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put my slippers and robe on and tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard, the conductor cried out, and I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where? I asked. Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. You guys all see the train? There it is. That's pretty cool. They're going to the North Pole. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols. We ate candy with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. You guys have hot chocolate to drink, don't you? And there's the dining car with all of the snacks and their hot chocolate. Soon, there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. Ooh, I would not want to run into those wolves at night. We climbed mountains so high, it seemed as if we would scrape the moon. But the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys, like a car on a roller coaster. Who rides roller coasters? Does anybody like to ride roller coasters? I do. I love roller coasters. They are so much fun. All right, here's the mountains. You guys see that? And the train's going up the mountains. The mountains turned into hills, and the hills into snow-covered plains. We crossed the barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appear in the distance. They look like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. There it is. You guys see it? The North Pole, it was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. First, we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift of Christmas? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Oh, that's pretty special. You see all the pictures? Look, shouted the children, the elves. Outside, we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no farther, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. You guys see all those little red people down here? Those are all the elves. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. Can you guys ring your bells? It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, elves moved apart and Santa appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and said, pointing at me, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into a sleigh and the conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked me, "Now what would you like for Christmas?" Now, I know that this year we can't really sit on Santa's lap, but we can still tell him what we want for Christmas. I know I did. I hope you guys got to tell him too. I hope you can see the pictures. I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it to Santa. He stood up and held the bell high above him and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." Oh, look at him with Santa getting his bell. The clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh, and Santa shouted out the reindeer's names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward, and he climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared into the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I found was a hole. Oh no! I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and we started moving. We were on our way home. Oh. He looks pretty sad. I think I'd be pretty sad too if I lost the bell that Santa gave me. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas!" he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. Oh, I bet he would be sad. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree, and it had my name on it. Inside was the bell. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh." "Fix the hole in your pocket," sighed Mr. C. Signed, Mr. C. But Mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents hadn't heard the sound. Did you guys hear it? I heard the bell. At one time or another, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all of those who truly believe. Did you guys like that book? I love that book. I think it's one of my favorite Christmas books to read. So I hope you guys enjoyed our book tonight. And I hope that you made it to the library to pick up your bell and your hot chocolate and your candy cane. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful holiday, no matter what you celebrate. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.